So so how does this impact Black people?
Man, listen. So here's what's gonna happen,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate I it's gonna get darker before it gets lighter. It's gonna get worse before it gets better, bro.
Explain.
Well, I got my finger on the pulse of something right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna let you know they're not done acting out. And around election time, I think we all can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
But specifically, there's a wave of stochastic terrorism. I don't know if you heard that term before.
No.
I had not heard it before, but stochastic terrorism is simply terrorists that act thinking that they are doing it on behalf of a leader without direct instruction or information from that leader. They feel that their act of terror will impress that leader. And we have at least 20 cases right now that have been tried in the courts where a right-wing white supremacist actor has specifically named Donald Trump as their inspiration. You had zero under Barack Obama and strangely zero under George W. Bush too. You see what I'm saying? So you have a new thing coming up. The stochastic terrorism wave is just beginning. And these people I'm low key on the show to like warn my folks, like stay ready, get ready. I went undercover again and I went onto some of the sites and the shit that they're looking at is doing is diabolical. I mean, the fact is that they have the police on their side all like already. And I think that we know that, feel me? We always call them the Blue Klux Klan around my way. I don't know, if you get that, but Michigan is a prime example of this. One of the reasons why they were able to set up what looked like attempted kidnapping of their governor was because there are sheriffs that are on the side of the far right guys. You see what I'm saying? Like, even though she is in charge, like not only is she a white woman who's the governor, but the lieutenant governor is a young Black dude. You feel me? So these militias over here, not playing none of this. Now, they're a one-trick pony. Too many of them have already been radicalized for them not to have like literally be setting things in motion for around election day. So we got Black gun clubs around my way. I'm like, yo, every Black polling place, I need y'all to be there. Every Black polling place, if you got any version of the Huey Newton Gun Club, I don't know if these NFAC cats, I don't know how y'all feel about them, but if you got any leanings like that, I know that many of the Hebrew Israelites, you know what I'm saying, have gun clubs or whatnot. Polling day, y'all need to be there to protect your folks because that's the day that they're planning on striking. Seriously, so just be ready.
What other intel could you give as it pertains to the alt-right white supremacy?
One of the most important things you have to understand is that, and I think we already saw this. So I just think I found this out before it actually happened, but it's already happened. But the fact that there was a plan to do vandalism and destruction in the name of Black Lives Matter, posing as Antifa when they weren't even Antifa. They were actually Proud Boys. Like they were actually far right guys. You know what I'm saying? Vanguard is a huge one. Vanguard, they're a little older. You see what I'm saying? So there's a chain of white supremacy that a lot of people don't understand. Okay. So let me break this down to you. All right. Because see, we know Steve Bannon, right? Right? All right, cool. Yeah, because me and Bailey got a chance to chop it up. Which specific aspect, Terrence? Because we covered a lot of ground. So a lot of people don't realize the orchestrated nature of how this shit came to be in the Trump era. All right. So there's two waves that crushed us, one from the top and one from the bottom when it came to white supremacists.
And you're speaking of Black people, right?
Yeah. And so specifically the waves of white supremacist violence that was aimed at us.
Sure. Okay.
Because there was one wave from the top and there was one wave from the bottom. The wave from the bottom, we pretty much know about. So there's the Vanguard organization, which they're inspired by this guy named William Pierce, who inspired Timothy McVeigh, who did the Oklahoma City bombing in 1995 or 6, right?
I was in high school, so yeah.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
So he's looked at as like the dude who initiated this kind of war against the American government, right? Which is weird because they're also in the American government, and then they want the government to also like protect them. Like they got a weird love-hate relationship with them, right?
Sure.
And so Vanguard, they have been the ones that have been quietly the most active. You see what I'm saying? And what they've been able to do is, of course, infiltrate the police departments. And they exploited a big old loophole in white psychology, which is they don't talk about race. White people don't know when their own friends are racist. They don't know when their freaking family, they don't know when their daddy's racist. You see what I'm saying? Like now there's like, I'm talking to white guys like, wow, I had no idea that my father felt this way. I'm like, well, I could have told you if you just tell me when he was born and what part of the country. I could have told you, right? So the infiltration of police departments is the thing that has been killing Black people. Let's be honest. It is the infiltration of law enforcement that actually started the Black Lives Matter movement. Because,
Okay.
because a lot of people do not understand that there are full-on white supremacist gangs inside of police force.
Yeah.
Full on. A report just recently came out about one called the Executioners. They were in Compton.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, and I mean, and the list goes on and on and on, right? What I believe Brother Bailey is referring to is the fact that the FBI sent out a memo in 2008, right before Barack Obama ascended the White House. Remember, Obama wasn't just by himself. He also brought Eric Holder, who was going to be
Attorney General. Yeah.
Attorney General, right? Right. And so during that time, FBI blanketly says to every policing department, be on the motherfucking lookout for white supremacist infiltration. Be on the lookout. Okay. And that memo was largely ignored. You can look at you can look it up. You can look it up. And so with that being
2008.
I believe this is 2008.
Okay, not the second term. Okay.
Either way, it's a memo from the FBI's counterterrorism wing. It's telling you, right, look out for this, right? So this is infiltration from the bottom. So these guys, these prison gangs, and they're like linked to like Nazi prison gangs. Like there's just this back and forth communication, this trail with them, right? These are the ones who are actually taking lives. And these are the ones who are not holding people accountable, because it goes all the way up to the district attorney, leverage over police departments, leverage over police chiefs, over mayors. They know where the bodies are buried. They know when you fucked the prostitute. They got pictures of it. They can send it to your wife. We've seen it happen here. See what I'm saying? So that infiltration from the bottom is the thing that is consistently, until the police weed this infiltration out, all Black people are at risk. I'm going to say that, do you remember the shooting in, what's it called? The shooting
at the church?
No. This was after that, yo. This was 2016, Dallas, the brother.
Oh, yeah, Johnson, Micah Johnson.
Right. So Micah Johnson gets up there and he mows down he killed like 5 cops that night, right? One of the cops that he killed had an Aryan insignia tattoo on his ring finger, straight up. So these guys are in the police departments for real. And they're killing brothers left and right. When you get pulled over, people don't understand this. Like you have an actual real fear that you could actually be getting pulled over by a 100% race soldier. All right. That's the infiltration from the bottom. From the top, it looks a little different. Because from the top, this is where they hit it the most. Everybody knows about George Soros, right? Everybody knows George Soros is supposedly this billionaire. I mean, he definitely is a billionaire. Everybody thinks he's behind Black Lives Matter. He's not. I can get into that. But what people don't know is about Robert Mercer. Have you heard that name?
No, I'm a Google him as you speak, though. Go ahead.
Robert Mercer is a mathematical genius. He is also a full-on white supremacist. He's a billionaire. He is the one who has been partially responsible for putting white supremacist thought in place under the guise of conservatism for the last 20 years, even longer than that, right? He's also the financial arm behind Steve Bannon. And Steve Bannon was the chief strategist for Donald Trump. It was Steve Bannon who allowed his strategies will make Trump recover after the grab him by the pussy tape came out, right? So Robert Mercer backed Steve Bannon drip feeds white supremacist thought into academia for the last 20 some odd, 30 some odd years, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's Robert Mercer whose money actually helped to rescue the Trump campaign in 2016.
Mm.
So Rob Mercer is actually the right-wing George Soros. He's the force behind the white power from the top. And he is the one who was also helping out another dude named Jared Taylor, who I actually had a chance to talk to. Jared Taylor, I call him the Sith Lord. Jared Taylor, he is the intellect behind the white supremacist movement. He is the brains. And he's a perfect fucking gentleman. Like, you would think that he'd be, you know, some foaming at the mouth, some bitch. No, Jared Taylor is a perfect gentleman. He and I talked for about an hour or so. And we were supposed to be recording on our end. It was supposed to be like a podcast.
Mm.
We were supposed to be recording. And I'm telling you, that dude knows his shit. He knows his shit. And he set up a website called The Color of Crime. And Color of Crime, I don't know if it's still underneath that name, but it's like he's compiled and distorted all these statistics about Black violence, which gets filtered into sites like VDare, which gets filtered into sites like used to be Stormfront. And every time they want to justify their anger at Black people, it is Jared Taylor's statistics that they're citing. You see what I'm saying? And they're often very, very wrong. They're often all fucked up, but they look damn official, you know, and you really got to do your research to come through it. So that's how it happened from the top and then the bottom. And that's how Trump got into the White House. You see what I'm saying?
Now,